In an attempt to do a little bit shorter video review than typical, I figured I'd pick a really quick fight. I can't really think of a quicker one than a match against Duke Sven, so that's what we're going to do. This is from On Tier Make Crown 2010. The video was recorded by Rifkin. Obviously, being back in 2010, the video quality is not spectacular, but it's awesome that you can pull these right off of YouTube. So what I'm going to do is just go back to the beginning of the fight, and this should be pretty quick. So I think this is 4th round according to Ritkin's video, and if I'm honest, I don't remember this match at all. So let's jump right in. We'll look at a first pass. So Sven and I set up with a pretty similar guard. My shield's a little smaller than his. He's a much better fighter than I am. 3-shot combo blocked. I throw a couple weak threats at him, and then open up the leg. So let's go back and take a look at those exchanges really quick and see what I could learn to do better. Hopefully I've gotten a little bit better since that time. So what I'm going to do is frame by frame move forward. You can see we've got a similar guard. The reason why I'm adopting this high forward guard is because Duke Sven is very fast. He can throw an offside or a snap into this slot. And if my sword is behind my head, then I'm really vulnerable. I know I'm not quick enough to shield block that, or if I get my shield up, to block a headshot, he can very easily then come in with a shot to the back leg, or he's got an excellent at-range wrap, which hits with the back of his blade in the body. So I'm aware of those things, and I have to put myself in a pretty defensive position. And then, just knowing myself, and knowing myself at the time, I, advance into range to immediately present as a threat. In my head, I know Duke Sven is likely to be the victor, as he was one of the best combatants in the world, and I was not. And those things are probably just as true today. But I don't want to give any ground. I want him to have to fight his hardest and feel threatened during the fight. And I know that there's a chance that if fortune smiles on me, there's a chance I could win this fight. Hint, I do not. So anyway, he and I have a pretty similar guard. His shield's a little bigger. If we go into slow motion to move forward, we see he throws a couple little pump fakes to see how I respond. I am opening up a bit, but not too bad. I'm just covering that offside. He throws the offside. Now I close in with an easily defeated onside snap. He just hangs his sword a little bit. I pump to throw a second, or to chamber up power. I'm going to go backwards a little bit. I pump to throw a second. So this is just keeping him honest with the sword position there. I'm watching, and honestly here I'm on defense more than offense. That's to try to keep him busy and see if he opens up. His shield doesn't really move at all. I'm hoping his leg's maybe going to open. I see his hand pop down, so I do a little bit of a head block, but not much. So I don't want to open that leg up too much, though I have. And Sven's fast enough, he might be able to rip this leg off right here. If he's quick enough about it, but he might be concerned about a counter shot from me coming in offside to his head. Can't really say what he's thinking there, but that's what I would be thinking if I were him. So I call off the second shot, I back out of range, we maintain range. Now as he walks in on me, I see that he's here. Sorry, if we go back, I'm out of range, but as he crosses that step forward, I know he's coming into range, so I settle back into my guard. And now he closes in. He does something kind of interesting with this opening snap, which is an onside shot to the head. So he throws a good, powerful shot onside head, and he comes in. What he's trying to do is move diagonally a little bit around me. So he's moving sort of to 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. If there was a clock on the ground around his feet, he's not going to noon, he's going to 1 or 2. And as he throws that onside shot, what he's doing is he steps in hard with his left foot. Not a lot of people throw from a right foot forward position an onside snap and step forward with their left foot at the same time. So that closes range really effectively. Now, he continues to pivot around, and what he's hoping to do is follow up with a quick wrap to the leg, or it looks like an onside shot to the leg. I'm able to get the defense there because I sword blocked that first shot. You can see right off the bat I'm reading it as a follow-up threat to the leg. So I don't move my shield up to block that shot. I actually drop my shield down and hang my sword. Now that cost me offense, blocking with a sword, but I know his offense is an onslaught. So I probably overblock that leg a little bit, but survive the exchange. We go back in. The next exchange doesn't go so well for me. So so here, this to me is pretty interesting. We do a lot of the same things, only he makes the right decisions and I make the wrong decisions. So we got a pretty similar guard, pretty similar shield, pretty similar stance. He throws that opening offside for a face slot. I don't step forward enough for it to hit me. Now we both table our shields up and end up with our swords and feet in the same positions here. Both of our shields are up because we're concerned about closing that gap. We're trying to make certain that, boy, that's really blurry, trying to make certain that there's no way our opponent can get swords through that area. Both of us, however, have our legs exposed, right? So he knows it, I should know it, but I don't. So what do? I throw right into his shield again, and he throws right into the big opening in my leg. So right now, my shield is up at this angle, his shield's up at this angle, my sword, his sword, and we're in pretty much the same position with our legs. We're just sort of like almost mirror image of each other, even though we're both right-handed. Now as we go forward, my shield's up, and I'm also a bit blind. Now if I drop my shield, what I'm thinking right now is if I drop my shield, he's going to smoke me in the head. So I don't drop my shield, and I throw right into what I'm afraid he's going to do, hoping he drops his shield to block the leg. He doesn't, right? I'm a little blind here, but I've already committed to throwing the headshot. I should open my shield, look and see the shield still there, and change my mind and throw for the leg. I do not. I don't know how Sven reads from under his shield. You can see that he's blind behind his shield, or probably blind, but he's reading something. He's cueing something that says that leg is open. Maybe he can actually see it. I'm not sure. So he throws pretty much straight for my leg, and I throw for his shield, and he legs me. All right. Now, he backs up a little bit to give me another chance to sort of settle myself and come straight in for the next attack, right? So here, I've got my sword back because at this point, it's all or nothing for me. I need a strong offense, and hopefully I can block any opening offside. Now, this position right here reads like he's going to pump an offside in, right? I can see that his blade right now is threatening a shot here. So it's a threat, and as he steps in, that threat becomes bigger and bigger, and his sword position is actually sort of threatening it, but I can't respond too much, right? So as he comes into range, what I want to do is keep him a little honest, but I've got to bring my defense up because that fast offside is ready to come. Now, watching from here, and I know that Sven doesn't do this accidentally, if you look, the point of his shield is way forward that way, yet the front corner, yet the point is back this way. So I think what he's protecting with that strange angle, which is a little bit more rotated this way than a lot of people with a heater would fight, I think what he's concerned about is that I will move this knee this way and then throw a wrap around the back side, and that back edge of his shield can pick it up a little bit more effectively. To me, and I'm sure he's got lots of good reasons for it, without his sword there would be a gap here for me to throw over. And one thing I don't recognize in this fight, I think, is that he's also got a bit of an opening right here. I could be throwing an onside shot into that right leg when he comes forward. I don't recognize that, and he's probably ready to just, pop that corner forward if that happens. But it looks like an opening now that I'm watching it. So he comes in, and basically at this point he's just sort of bobbling and threatening that offside. I'm moving to respond to it, and then here he comes with the offside. I get the block. I think that comes off the basket or the corner of my shield. Now what I've done here is a pretty big block, and what I'm trying to do is explode up. It's a sort of motion where almost like you're throwing things off of you. I'm doing that. It's leaving me pretty open, but what I'm hoping it'll do is push his offense back. I'm not certain that that's the right move. Maybe I could turtle up, because it does move my shield far away from the body. But in this case, it does buy me a little space, or he gives me a little bit of space after, so maybe it worked. Now, I'm also, as I do this, chambering up to throw an onside shot in case he comes in. He doesn't. So at this point, I'm blind, and I'm throwing to keep him honest. And he hasn't come in. At this point, I'm already throwing the shot off. I'm not even aiming for an opening. I know there's nothing there. What I want to do is set up for a counter. Now, I skip up off his blade, trying to maintain the momentum of my sword, so that I can flip over into an offside face shot. An offside to the face doesn't need to be super hard, and if it connects with him, it'll be a winning, killing blow. However, he fades out, so my shot's on the right target. He doesn't even need to defend it, because what he does is fade back, so it misses. Now at this point, he probably has the opportunity to bound forward and hit me here. He doesn't, perhaps because his foot position, or he's concerned that I've got something else I can do, but he doesn't jump right back in right away. He lets me kind of regain my, lets me sort of regain my position. And here we go for the final exchange. So he squares up, moves in again, same position, much the same scenario, throws a thrust, which I catch with the corner of my shield. So it's an offside shot that turns into a thrust. I've picked that up with the corner of my shield, and again, same routine. I've exploded out, and I'm ready to throw that onside head, but he's prepared for it. So I call it off, and I don't move quite quick enough because he's here to counter. And this, I think, is the killing blow. I'm bringing my guard back down, and I think I bring it down too fast. So I'm going back and forth here. It's a little confusing. But as I move forward, I recognize that opening is there, and I'm trying to block the onside head. And instead of throwing the onside head, or he does throw an onside, look at, in one frame, this is how quick he is, and granted this is probably 30 frames a second, but Sven goes from here to here. Like, that's one frame. And he drops the knees a little bit, gets some body rotation, and just bam. And what he does, I think, is come over the top of the sword, just with his thrusting tip. I don't think it was necessarily hard. And watching the video at speed, it's not clear that this is a killing blow. It's not clear that I didn't block it, but I think I take it here. Now I'm hoping to pick up the block and throw an offside leg into that opening that I saw before here. He either fades that shot and it misses, or he blocks it with his shield. It's not real clear. And meanwhile, he's already popped me in the head. And I think at this point I'm dead. You can't really hear it on the video, but he's now stepping in to press hard, chambering up, and I'm starting to do a really strange block. He hasn't thrown yet, so this might be a block against power, but I think what I'm doing is covering myself long enough to not get hit again while I die. So I think, and we can watch this and you guys can give me your opinion, I think I died to this, and I needed to finish my body motion before I could fall over. And Sven's already jumped in, so let's watch that one more time slow and then at speed. And I think that's the fight. So here's slow, the exchange. Block the thrust, try to counter. Think I'm dying. He steps in, throws another shot. I think I blocked that second one, but I'm already dying. So if we go back and watch it one more time at speed, and this is not Sven at the fastest he can go, but this is me at the fastest I can go. So I don't think it was the second shot that killed me. I think it was the first one. So anyway, that was back in 2010. Probably the last time I fought Duke Sven in a tournament. And as always, I have so much to learn from him. I also have a lot to learn from you guys. So if you're finding these fight breakdowns to be interesting, if you'd like me to try to do an analysis of one of your videos, leave a comment and we'll figure out how to get in touch. I can get one of your videos and I'll try to find time to go over it. Or if you have any feedback, questions about how the fighting works or anything like that, leave a comment and I'll do my best to address it and do a better job on the next videos. Thanks.